Stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody wants coffee?
Tom, can you get me off the hook? Roll type C.
The tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Welcome in to the Thom Abraham Show. And yes, this is not Thom Abraham. No, it is not. This is Chad Gwathney taking over the show because having a little issue as Thom is out in South Carolina doing a Bassmaster event. That there's a thing we're still always. It just seems like as much as we just keep advancing in technology, it just seems like every single time. There's always something like connectivity, not being like the Wi-Fi connecting, the firewall not letting you get through. But yes, there is a firewall issue going on, and he is not able to connect. So we're having issues connecting. But we are going to do a little bit of a recap show and a live show as well. So it's me in the studio taking over right now. I don't have anybody else in here right now. Everybody kind of just left. I thought maybe somebody, maybe wanted to come in here and do something, but maybe Smokey Mike will maybe drop in or something like that. But we are going to have a live guest later at the top of the next hour. You'll have David Moulton from the Florida Sports Network, also the spotter for Gary Danielson and the CBS crew, and also Joe Buck and Troy Aikman over at the ESPN or the ESPN crew. Ooh, don't want to mess that up. The ESPN crew, because it was Fox, now ESPN. So anyway, what happened last night? Can we talk about what happened last night? As once again, the New York Mets, and I won't ask that of David Moulton because it would be rude of me to ask, him being a Mets fan, me and being a Braves fan, to see how bad the Mets choked to get swept by our arch rival, the Atlanta Braves, and to just be able to, still win 100 games, still lose the division, and really have the division. The Mets held the division for quite a while. So the crazy thing about it is just how, it is what it is. My goodness, it just feels good to be a Braves fan. I don't know how good it feels right now to watch the Mets just absolutely cave in. As, of course, the Atlanta Braves won 101 games and 60 losses and still has a chance to win 102, possibly today against the Marlins. Game really doesn't matter. I'm sure we're going to have it on the radio. Make sure you also listen tonight. I believe it's on the Blitz. I'm going to have to ask. It's either on the Blitz or it's going to be on the mainstream, and then we'll join the Braves later. But please listen to Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff as they kick off every week for Army football. Great show. Great job. They do a great job. The guys do a great job. It's great to have them in here. It's 1 hour of just, some really, they have some great guests as well. They're able to get, they're pretty much they can get anybody. They can really get anybody on their show when it comes to Army. So it's pretty awesome to be able to listen to that and be able to continue to support our armed forces. So please, if you do want to call in, you got some time. I am going to go to trying to do the stream and the same time. So if you saw a talking ball come up, it's because I clicked the wrong button. But I'm trying to do the stream at the same time as I'm trying to do the radio show as well. So if I do put you on, please tell me who you are because I am not able to answer and talk at the same time. So I'm just going to put you on right now. So whoever this is, go ahead and say who this is. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Thom Abraham Show. What's going on?
Hey, Chad. It's Crawdad.
Hey, it's Crawdad. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, I was just listening, and I just wanted to let everybody know we're on 97.7 tonight. We're not.
So you are on 97.7 tonight. All right, Steve's not here right now, so I can't tell him. So it's great to have you on the mainstream tonight, and it's going to be a great show as always.
Yeah, and the Braves start at 3:10 today, so we're on at 7. They'll be.
Oh, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. I know that you're gonna call me later. I know you're gonna give me a phone call or a text later, and I wouldn't be able to answer you. So I probably needed you to call in anyway.
Well, hey, our guest tonight is strength and conditioning.
Yeah, who you got
coach
today?
Connor Hughes.
Yeah,
we got Connor Hughes, and we have blogger Johnny Brooks, and also in studio with us is going to be former MVP of the Army-Navy game and coach at Army, Joe Ross, who now runs higher echelon here in Hunts Vegas, Alabama.
Yeah, does great job with us too.
Great
Great to partner with higher echelon.
Yeah, he is. So hey, I look forward to seeing everybody tonight, and tune us in. You know, we're right now in the midst of a little slump in this season, and we face Wake Forest, and that's going to be a tough order. But hey, these guys don't give up. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us. Last year Wake Forest was 70 to 56. It was an offensive juggernaut, and maybe the same thing will happen. So, hey, I'll catch you later on. Good talking to you.
Thanks. Always good to hear from you. And yeah, have a good show tonight. I'll be listening.
All right, bye.
I always monitor it. It just seems like if you work around here, you always try to monitor each other's shows. You always try to listen to, about 10, 15 it's just at least a little bit of time of each other's shows. You know what I mean? Just so you know that you're all here, we're all supporting each other, and we're all trying to get each other, in the right form, to be able to give you, quality sports talk every day. So let me kind of run down a little bit what we're going to do today as well. Later, after this, when I go to a break and we come back, we're going to talk to Thom Luginbill. We're going to recap his conversation with Thom that they had on Monday. And then also, if I do have any time at all after that, we'll probably just kind of kick it off, finish the first hour off, and then we'll talk to David Moulton at the top of the first hour as well. And then after David Moulton, I will recap also as well the conversation that Thom had with John Samuel Shanker, recapping the loss and just kind of getting ready for the matchup that's going on against Georgia. And I'll actually ask David Moulton as well, a lot of questions about Georgia, Auburn, and just kind of, get his breakdown as of course CBS will be at that game. And then I'll also get his touch on some NFL too as well. Ask about the Falcons as we are the home of the Falcons. So ask about their start, ask about the Titans win over the Colts. Also, if you have Jonathan Taylor on your fantasy, I could ask some questions about that as well because, it seems like he's got an ankle injury. Who knows if he's able to play or not. He's probably questionable at the moment. And, we'll kind of see what's going on there because I know some people are probably frustrated over Jonathan Taylor and his production lately in fantasy. So we're just going to try to keep rolling along. And if you want to call in, you're more than welcome to. I got Smokey Mike behind me. I got everybody. At least I got Smokey Mike. I always have Smokey Mike behind me, and I'm glad that he's here to be able to, back me up if I need anything today. So, but I know he's probably going to want to leave pretty soon. So I understand. But anyway, so thank you for joining the stream. We're going to roll on to Thom's conversation with Thom Luginbill. And then when we get back, we're going to try to finish up the show. And if you'd like to call in, you're more than welcome to. Sorry, we're not doing Beat the Big Dog today, but we will do the trifecta this week. So please, if you do want to call in, please call in at 256-576-4977. If you want to text Thom and make fun of him because he's not able to connect right now, you can text as well, 732-982-7469. So like I said, let me be right back and take a break, and we're going to go on to Thom Luginbill right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down? And maybe you haven't been getting the exercise you need. If you want to get back to the man you used to be, but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns, to problems with muscle gain and bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction. And if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Huntsville Men's Clinic, we've treated many men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how low testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 256-368-0333. That's 256-368-0333. Or go to HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com. That's HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Take it to the house this football season with the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. If Alabama or Auburn returns their first received kickoff in the second half or a touchdown at a home SEC game, one lucky fan will win a $75,000 down payment towards the purchase of a manufactured home from an authorized AMHA dealer. Don't miss your chance to take it to the house this season and win a beautiful manufactured home. Register to win today at auburntigers.com/take-it-to-the-house or rolltide.com/take-it-to-the-house. Certain terms and conditions may apply. To learn more, visit alamha.org.
Flow Trampoline Park is Huntsville's newest destination for family fun. There's an inflatable park for the little ones, air track basketball court for the sports people, and a variety of other aerial sports attractions. Plus, plenty of couches and TVs for the spectators. And this Friday, get a $50 voucher to Flow for just $25 on zone deals. We have a limited number of these great deals on sale now at wzzn.halfoffdeal.com. Keep an eye on all our social media channel for the link to wzzn.halfoffdeal.com and get in on the fun right now.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
The Braves are out to defend their world title, and it all starts now as the push to the playoffs heats up in Atlanta.
Next pitch to Riley. Swung on, hammered to deep center. Pay the man! Home run!
Today, it's the final game of the regular season as Austin Riley and the Braves look to close out 2022 with a win against the Miami Marlins. Braves radio's on the air at 2:55 Eastern, 1:55 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another beautiful day across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Dropping into the lower 50s as we head into the overnight. Essentially a repeat for your Thursday, though it is going to be just a smidge warmer. Still plenty of sunshine, though. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid-50s through the overnight. Maybe a little more cloud cover for your Friday afternoon. Still not talking about any rain. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm number 2. Pick 2 Friday on The Drive is brought to you by Humphrey's Bar and Grill.
I mean, this wouldn't happen on the Wheel of Fortune.
Call into The Drive each Friday for your chance to win on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you're having your vehicle serviced there, you'll know that they're going to take great care of your vehicle when you see how they take great care of their facility. And don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. They come in and they go out pretty quick. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com. Learn more about that. Check the inventory. That's how we found my wife's Mustang convertible. It's just kind of like checking in there all the time. She's always wanted a white Mustang convertible. And sure enough, one of the times I'm checking at WoodyAndersonFord.com, boom, there it is. And I called down there, hold that car. Ran down there and bought it. So you can do the same thing at Woody Anderson Ford. Lugs was on the Wake Forest win against Florida State, and he joins us now here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Lugs, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning to you.
So the weather was good. That's good. And, so that turned out good. I don't know what to make of either of these teams. I mean, I know it's an improved Florida State team. That's a disappointing loss at home. That would have been a good win for Mike Norvell. But what about Wake Forest, too, now? Being able to go into Florida State and get that win. I just don't know what I'm looking at.
Well, I think Wake's a pretty good football team. They are a darn well-coached football team, and the quarterback's a stud. I mean, Sam Hartman just flat out gets it done. And, they're coming off of that very, very disappointing Clemson loss. It was a heartbreaker, double overtime. And you kind of sit there and say, man, how hungover are these guys going to be? And then, Dave Clawson, the head coach, he made a great point. He said, because I'd be really surprised if that happens. We've got 39 guys on this roster that are either in their 4th or their 5th year. And so they're very, very old. They're aged. They've been through a lot. And he was right. That team weathered the storm. Florida State went right down and, 3 or 4 plays, scored a touchdown. It was like, whoa, here we go. Wake never wavered, just kind of stuck to the plan. And for the first time all year, and I think Florida State was feeling themselves a little bit, maybe reading their press clippings, but they reverted back to their sloppiness of the last 5 to 6 years. And we hadn't seen that in the first 4 weeks. And they just might have gotten a little caught up and believe in the hype and need to get back to the drawing board. But you're right, Tom. They're vastly improved. They have athletes. I just think both teams are pretty good football teams.
Yeah, I think they are pretty good football teams. I think that quarterback, Sam Hartman's pretty good quarterback as well.
He's special. Yeah, he is. And listen, if guys like Chase Daniel or Colt McCoy, some of these guys can play in the NFL and last as a 2 or 3, he certainly can.
What is up with the way they run that read option, though? I mean, that is so strange looking.
It is so difficult to defend. So I asked, point blank, Dave Clawson, they call it flow match. And I said, what created this? Because he wasn't doing it when he was head coach at Richmond. He didn't do it for 1 year at Tennessee. He didn't do it at Bowling Green. It kind of evolved at Wake Forest. Quite honestly, he said we were so bad in pass protection when we got here that we were going to get sacked every time we dropped back to throw the football. So we had to come up with some type of wrinkle that would suit us and give us a chance to throw the ball. And he goes, it started off with just the normal RPO, token fakes, and come off and throw the ball quick. He goes, but then what we found out was people were zone blitzing us and changing the look. And so our quarterback sometimes would be wrong on the zone, on the read part of the zone read. So what we started to do was say, okay, let's ride this thing out as long as we can to make sure that the quarterback can't be wrong. Because by that time, you have to commit either the safety or the outside linebacker, whoever you're optioning off, that person has to commit. So at least the quarterback prior to the ball being snapped is going to be right, and they have mastered it. It's really fun to watch. It's almost impossible to prepare against, because how do you practice something that is such a niche type of offensive approach and do something like that in 3 days and really get it down? So It caused a lot of problems the other day for Florida State.
Yeah, it sure did. We had a little pull back the curtain moment.
during the broadcast. I thought it was cute. Your mic was hot, and we heard over the broadcast, we heard you say to, I guess, Dusty, or to the group up there, 62 on the right side. And sure enough, there's Dusty. Oh, look at this block by 62 on the right side. I mean, it was good. So you're kind of giving those guys a little bit of what you're seeing from the field as well, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, it's not supposed to be hot. I probably forgot to press my little button. But, yeah, sometimes that goes out over the air because I am hot and live the entire game. So sometimes that will happen. I'll see something pop up, and then, I might forget to press the button every now and then. But, I mean, that's kind of the communication. And, again, I'm seeing something from a different vantage point than they are, and we can kind of help each other out that way.
I'm going to ask you again. You have no monitor. You got to be the only one of the ESPN sideline guys that don't have a monitor, because I see everybody with a monitor. You got no monitor.
Yeah, I mean, there's a monitor like on a table that's in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
But I'm never there.
Oh.
I'm always running around, walking around. So yeah, if I have the use or a need for any type of monitor,
yeah,
generally I can glance up at the jumbotron, and they may not have the TV version of the replay, but they'll have some version of a replay if I'm to need it.
Well, do you have the ESPN app, because you can watch the game on ESPN Plus on your phone while you're watching?
I know. The problem is in those stadiums, with all of the frequencies of electronics, it's impossible.
Yeah, it is. It is. No doubt about it. Thom Luginbill with us here. So you got North Carolina, pretty salty football team. You got North Carolina in Miami. Mario Cristobal, he's had to chew on that loss to Middle Tennessee for 2 weeks now. Right now everybody feels like Miami's the biggest fraud in college football. Do they have a chance against North Carolina? Figure out a way to, kind of get those people fired up a little bit there?
I think it depends on which defense shows up for North Carolina. I mean, this has been a team that's given up 39 points a game. Now, they lead the ACC in scoring, but they also lead the ACC in points allowed. But last week against Virginia Tech, Gene Chiswick's group showed up to play. They tightened things up and played much, much better. The quarterback for North Carolina, if you haven't seen him, Drake May, is going to be a star. I mean, he's just a redshirt freshman. They have so many weapons on offense. For Miami, I bet they would have liked to have gotten on the field right away after losing to Middle Tennessee State, who, by the way, then went and lost to UTSA.
Yeah.
But they've had a lot, like you said, to chew on the last 2 weeks, and also a lot of time to get some things corrected. They're going to continue to go with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback. I think he's earned the right to prove that, that performance against Middle Tennessee State was an outlier. And if he doesn't, they'll go right back to Jake Garcia. But Miami's kind of it's interesting because you feel like offensively what Rhett Lashley was doing was the perfect fit for what they were and how they wanted to operate on offense. And now all of a sudden they don't look anything like that under Josh Gaddis. They look like they're hesitant, they're wondering, they're questioning. There's no up tempo to it, and so there seems to be just something missing the mark on offense for Miami.
Thom Luginbill with us here, talking some college football. We've talked about the demise of Nebraska football, and that we kind of agree that that's something that's in the rearview mirror. I'm wondering if we're not seeing the same thing with the University of Miami football. If they're going back to what they were pre-Howard Schnellenberger, pre all of this. They're playing in a stadium in front of maybe 20, 25,000 people that is miles and miles from campus. It doesn't feel like a college feel there. I don't know. I mean, maybe if they broke out of the gate 6-0 or something like that, the people would flood to the game, but it doesn't seem to be that way. I mean, is this a dead end now? Is Miami a dead end gig now in the state of Florida and in the SEC or ACC?
No, and the reason why is the athletic director that they signed on, Dan Radakovich, will not allow that to happen. The reason why is he understands that football drives the bus. He's unapologetic about it. They are going to invest. They're going to invest heavy. They're a private school. I think you're going to see a full-blown football operations center coming down the pike. I do believe they're going to find a way to get a 38 to 40,000 seat stadium at least at or around Coral Gables that's suited for them. If you look at what Dan Radakovich did in his tenure at Clemson, completely transformed the entire university, and the town for that matter. And then you look how football just skyrocketed. And I think between him and Mario Cristobal's work ethic and their ability to recruit, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, but watch as that university starts to transform and start really investing in football, because they're going to have to make an institutional commitment. It can't just be the head coach and the AD say, yeah, we need to do this. The university has to be on board. And if he can do what he did at Clemson, then that thing has got gold mine written all over it.
Tom Luganville with us. All right, let's talk some SEC. What are you seeing out of Georgia, which now has fallen out of the number one spot in these polls, which are, again, meaningless. The only poll that means anything is when the committee's poll comes out. But, this is about the time of year when I really think after 4 or 5 games that you really can start putting together something that looks like a poll. But what do you think about Georgia? They struggled with Kent State, and then they just looked awful the entire game against Missouri, and then ultimately pulled that game out.
I'm curious to know if they are mature enough to handle success right now, because I think teams that do that, regardless of who the opponent is, they play to their own level, to their own standard. They play up here. They don't play down here. They play up here, and they say, all right, everybody else get up here with us. That's the difference, in my opinion, between an Alabama program right now and a Georgia program that I think is still in its infant stages of knowing that. Now, if you're Kirby Smart, you're very fortunate to be able to have some great teachable moments and still come away with a win. But this isn't just against Missouri. They gave up 22 to Kent State at home.
Right.
So this is more about getting back to worrying about playing your own game. And you know as well as I do, you coach, I've coached. You turn on the tape with your kids, right? They're not dumb. They're looking at the video, and they're watching how that Missouri-Auburn game played out. And they're going, boy, we could show up, get off the bus, and wax these guys. The moment you start having that mindset, and it's human nature, it happens, you immediately disrespect the opponent, you lose focus, and you don't play to your ability. And that's exactly what Georgia's done, and they've done it twice now.
Doesn't that seem to be what one of the things you'd have to say that Nick Saban is great at? They just don't seem – look, they have games sometimes where they don't look great during the game, and certainly at 28-0, you could see a change in their demeanor, and they let Arkansas right back in that game with 23 straight points. But that has seemed to be, for the most part, one thing about Nick Saban, and they moved them back to number one. Now, Ohio State's at 3 after they win against Rutgers. We'll get into Brian Day and Greg Schiano in a moment, but they get back to they're at 3 right now. Right. Are they being disrespected? I mean, is it just like, okay, one or the other SEC team is going to be number 1, the other one's going to be number 2, and we're leaving you guys out of this for now?
I think they are a little bit. I think they've earned the right to be 1 or 2. I really do. Their performance has been fantastic just about week in and week out. Defense has improved. They haven't had any, Kent State or Missouri performances like we just saw out of Georgia. So I do think they're being disrespected a little bit. To your point, though, it really doesn't matter. Just be in the 4 discussion, and that's all that it right. really is all that matters. And you hit on something that I've said about Nick Saban, I think, forever. We can talk about recruiting. We can talk about the process. Talk about all the different, attributes that he brings. I think his single greatest talent as a coach is getting 18 to 22-year-olds to play at a high level when every single moment they're away from the building, everybody's telling them how good they are. And that is very, very hard to accomplish.
Yeah, and they're certainly getting everybody's best shot, too. I mean, every week they're getting everybody's best shot. This is a circle game. And it was interesting what Sam Pittman said before the game about Alabama. Right. He said,
well, Alabama, they can beat you before you ever run out on the field.
They can beat you before you ever run out on the field. I mean,
he's right.
He's absolutely right about that. But his team showed a lot of scrap getting back in that game. But there was a lot of special team snafus as well by Alabama, too, specifically. We're seeing this, though, all over college football. Now, I'm an ex-special teams coordinator. It's driving me nuts. But we are seeing this all over college football. What is going on with special teams that they have become so erratic? Is it because of the lack of contact practices, or we're not getting enough time with the specs? What's going on? Because I've never seen fundamentally special teams be as raggedy as they are right now in college football.
I think there is a bit of a correlation between how much we limit contact for safety purposes to a lack of kicking game performance and tackling performance. How are you expected to, let's go easy, let's make sure we stay safe, let's keep ourselves healthy, this and that, Oh, but then when it's 100 miles an hour on game day, we're going to want you to be perfect in all those facets. I think at some point or another, we have to, as a sport, acknowledge that it's an inherently dangerous sport. You can do everything you can to try and minimize potential health issues. But at the end of the day, man, you're going to have to do some live tackling. You're going to have to do some live kickoff return. You're going to have to do some live punt return, because I'm not saying it's become a walkthrough. I don't believe that, but it really comes down to coverage and tackling, and it's the same thing with defensive principles. And I also think, though, if the head coach finds kicking game to be important, then the kicking game will be important. If the head coach isn't as invested in it, it may not be as important. I think that's been proven over time. But you're right. I mean, Georgia Tech had 4 punts blocked in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Saw some of the LSU issues with their kicking game. And you're right. I think it has to do with practice habits and how we've changed practicing in football now.
So Ohio State's up 39. There's a fake punt. There's a scrum. Greg Schiano comes running over. Him and Ryan Day, who coached on the same staff together, on Urban Meyer's staff there. And you would think they're good friends. I thought, well, maybe this is an underlying. Maybe these guys hated each other when they were on the staff, but I don't think so. I think they're boys. You know, they're good friends. But the one thing that's been lost in all of this, and this is just me talking, but I'm thinking I got a little bit of a cue. That was not a called. They didn't call for a fake punt. That kid just took off. Everything was gone on that side, and he just stepped up, and he just took off. It was a 20-year-old kid making a decision that, like, hey, everybody's gone. I'm just going to run. Ryan Day did not call for a fake punt up 39 points against Rutgers. So, I don't know. Maybe that's one of those things like on – an onside return, watch for the onside kick. You got to say something to a guy. Maybe that's the thing you got to tell the kid. Kick the ball. I don't care what it looks like. Just kick the ball. Maybe that's the last thing you say to the punter. But the punter did that on his own, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at Ryan Day and, more importantly, Greg Schiano's comments after the game, they were both more concerned about their team's conduct on the sideline, getting in a fight, not having a bench clearing deal, so on and so forth. And really, Greg Schiano said, Ryan and I are good. We're close friends. We're fine. We just wanted to protect my players, and he wants to protect his players, and so on and so forth. But there's no question that was not a called fake punt.
Yeah, no doubt. Coaches are getting fired every week now. People are saying, why do you got to fire your coach now? I mean, does it? But there is a battle. There is going to be this. I think we're going to have a record number of coaches openings, and there's got a lot of names that are going to be popping up. But the Paul Chryst one, I mean, he has won 73% of his games. I mean, do you have to? And I know that Jim Leonard. I mean, Leonard would be a candidate. I think he will be a candidate for that gig, and they're going to, and he's auditioning here in this second half of the season. But I mean, do you have to do Paul Chryst like that? I mean, that's a guy that's won a lot of football games for you. Do you got to run him in the middle of the season?
I wouldn't. I mean, let the season play out. Some teams get hot in the middle. Some teams get hot at the end. You have an injury here. You get a guy back from injury there. And next thing you know, you're a different team in week 9 than you were in week 4. That guy's won too many football games, been in too many Big Ten championship games to not allow him to get through a season and right the ship unless something internally from whether it's a personality conflict or a team chemistry dynamic, or the administration was very concerned about, the team's response to Paul Chryst. I was stunned to see that. I really was.
Yeah. And, of course, Jimbo Fisher comes to Tuscaloosa. People are like, oh, God, this guy's got to go. I mean, this is just terrible. He's going to, they got whacked. They were never in that game against Mississippi State. They get beat down against the Pirate like that. But, again, I know that these buyouts get paid. But Jimbo's buyout is right now $85 million if they're going to try and get rid of him right now. I mean, it's ridiculous. They can't possibly pull the trigger on him before like 2026. So that dude's not going anywhere.
Well, no, of course he's not going anywhere. And if people are really going to be honest with themselves when they were assessing this team and this roster, then they would have had to have said, you need to look at this team in 23 and 24, and they're expecting those types of results in 22. There's no way that was going to happen. Here's, I think, the biggest myth of this whole thing. and Tom, you know this because you follow recruiting enough. Everybody talked about that 2022 recruiting class for Texas A&M. But what everybody fails to realize is that there was no way that every single guy in that class was all of a sudden going to show up on campus and transform the entire roster. And that's what was expected. I think that's what people thought was going to happen. Well, we got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and they're going to come in and they're going to set the world on fire. There's basically been like 3 guys that have significantly contributed. Evan Stewart, L.T. Overton, and Shamar Stewart. Those 3 guys. Everybody else hasn't gotten to that point yet where they're contributing because that's not reality. And, you know, you beat Alabama and then you have the number 1 recruiting class. So now all of a sudden you're supposed to be running away with this thing. Well, how come nobody focuses on when they lost to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas?
Yeah.
Alabama doesn't do that. Georgia doesn't do that. And so I think that we've all been, because you get excited about, you know, a recruiting class and this and that, but if you really peel back the layers and look at it, they're a terrible team in the offensive line right now. They don't have a quarterback. Offensively, they kind of look a bit archaic, and they got a long way to go. They might be starting Connor Wigman, a true freshman, who I really like that kid, a true freshman this week with Max Johnson going out. I don't know how injured he is. So you could have Jalen Milroe taking on a true freshman and Connor Wigman in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, like everybody expected. And Vegas has Alabama a 24-point favorite. They don't even care who's quarterback for Alabama. They're like, we don't care. Yeah, run Blake Sims out there if you want right now. We don't care. You know,
right.
I mean, it's 24 points. You know, and it's just absolutely crazy. All right, always a great job. Good luck on the Miami North Carolina game. We'll be watching, and we appreciate you so much as always. Thom Luginbill is my guest. Thanks, Luke.
Thanks, Tom.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Luginbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. I'm sorry, I can't operate on that vehicle.
But doctor, you took an oath.
That RV, it's my son's RV.
Oh, doctor, isn't there anything you can
I'm not a miracle worker, Sheila. I'm an RV surgeon, trained to save the lives of large injured recreational vehicles, which is definitely a real profession.
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
The two words we live by. The coach we follow. All right, blow the horn. Let's go. The famous call we love to hear. Touchdown, Alabama! It's good to be a Bama fan. Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide look for revenge against the Texas A&M Aggies. Our coverage begins at 4 on your home for Alabama football.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including college football and the NFL. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com and use the promo code WZZN. That's BetUS.com and the promo code WZZN.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Your Atlanta Braves are National League East champions.
In the air to right field, Ronald Acuna back. Ronald is under it. The Braves have won it again. For the 5th year in a row, the Braves are champions of the National League East.
For the 5th straight season, the Braves are kings of the East, and we're ready to bring you every single moment of the NLDS and the entire 2022 Braves playoff run, all live on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Catch the Tide every Saturday. Hi, this is Chris Stewart of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Listen to Alabama football on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
those guys are very talented. They're very good, and they do it well, and they do it most of the time on the field, all the time. Just occasionally at certain points, certain times, we're not haven't been perfect yet. It hadn't all clicked yet, and we have to keep working at it. We have to give them the confidence, and we have to give them the knowledge, and educate them, and coach them well to make sure they're in the right space, doing the right thing consistently in practice to allow them to go to the game. And listen, those guys are playing their tails off. It has nothing to do with want to or not wanting to, and they will get it. Relaxing is not it. It's practicing with habits, and so you have confidence to play. You say relax. Relax is your confidence comes from working hard and doing it every day and knowing you can do it. And you don't practice it till you do it right. You practice it till you can't do it wrong. A lot of times you can do it right, but how many times can you not do it wrong? That's the key, how consistent you can be. Everybody says relax. Well, everybody can relax. Take a deep breath and relax. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's not confidence is what allows you to play well. And when you practice well, then you have confidence and you play well. And then you make a few plays in the game. Like I say, if we happen to get those picks or happen to make that catch or not fumble, and all of a sudden your whole persona changes based off one or two plays and how you do things. That's just the game. That's any game. I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball, anything you do. You just got to keep pressing as far as work habits, but then you got to understand that when the plays are there, relax, be fundamentally sound, put your nose on the ball when you catch it, or put your hands where you got to be when you block it, or when you're going to intercept it, make sure you're in the right position or whatever it is, and just do it over and over every day in practice. Well, I've taken that from everybody I've coached under. Been under Bobby Bowden, Terry Bowden, Nick Saban, Les Miles. I mean, you learn from everybody you have. And, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you do, and you pick up from organizational transitions to knowledge of the game or how defenses are affiliated, how attack offense, how to practice schedule. I mean, everybody has their own way, and you learn from everybody. I mean, you learn from everybody. I learned from all the coaches I had. All of them were highly successful, and all national championship coaches that I've been fortunate. I've been very fortunate to be under Les, Bobby, Nick, all won national championships. And Terry Bowden, we won 20 in a row, his first 20 games at Auburn after going to national playoffs and national semifinals there. So I've been around some successful people. So you learn a lot of things. And Nick's just a tremendous coach. Arguably, people say he's one of the best ever or the best ever. I mean, that kid could very well be. I mean, that's no doubt. There's a huge argument for that. But it's saying, and you pick up things you learn from organization to structure to offense to defense, and those things stick with you off and on. There's multiple things you learn from all of them, and learned a lot from Nick, a whole lot from Nick. He's a very, very good football coach.
Oh, well, welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. Well, thanks, Coach Fisher. Such great remarks towards Nick Saban and many other coaches that you've coached under, and nothing said bad. No, throwing Bible verses or calling coaches so and so and getting slapped over the head. And man, that was really nice to say about Coach Saban and other coaches that you've had before. Because I'm thinking if all these other coaches want to come out and say such negative things about Nick Saban and the Alabama program, then why don't you do that? Man, welcome back, though. Welcome back. That was great. That was great to be able to listen to Jimbo Fisher say something nice. And, of course, it's kind of weird that, or it's just it gets you excited for, that pregame handshake and just all the little festivities before the game. And you don't want anybody to fight, but you know that there's going to be possibly that, which just call it now, just get the sideline guys ready. You know that that possibly some, people are going to walk out to the field and they're going to act like they're going to act all tough, and coaches are going to yell at each other possibly. And I'm sure everybody's going to get back, and it'll probably be something like that. But we all know that Texas A&M is going to get beat down. We all know around here, whether you're an Auburn fan, whether you're an Alabama fan, whether you're a Tennessee fan, we're all to a great agreement. It's just amazing as a fan base of college football that we can all, as much as people love to hate on Alabama and all the success Alabama has, we love to hate on the coaches that are just scumbags. You know what I mean? Or, quote, dirt neck. So I think, honestly, when it's great that in college football that we can all come together and have this petty hatred towards somebody. It's kind of like being a Braves fan and having such petty hatred towards Mets fans, because it just feels good. It just feels good as a fan base. And I get it. It's kind of sad for some other fan bases that may not be able to win. But that's the thing about sports. It's great. I mean, I grew up for so long being, just a Braves fan, Atlanta kind of fan. And for the longest time, I never was really an NFL fan. And my friends would honestly bully me to the point of actually picking a team in the NFL. And I live in Alabama, and it's like, I love college football. I love baseball. I love other sports. I'm not the biggest NFL guy. I think a lot of people can agree with me. They're not the biggest NFL guy, but I love the NFL because I do fantasy. And speaking of fantasy, by the way, how about Brian Robinson, former Alabama running back, returning to practice for the Washington Commanders? This man was shot twice. This man's got that dog in him. Are you kidding me? My goodness. Could you, I'm looking at Bailey right now. Bailey, could you be shot twice and come back to do the radio show tomorrow? Or no, not tomorrow. I'm sorry, in like a couple of weeks maybe. If we had the same situation.
No, if I've been shot twice, not at all.
I might take off. I might take off for a while. And if I was getting shot, it was kind of weird that I got in that situation in the first place, but I am who I am, so so it's hard out there for
it is what it is.
For a radio producer. Building and traffic manager, I should say. But I don't know, man. That's wild to be able to come off of two gunshot wounds from a carjacking and it's just crazy to be able to say that there's an athlete out there, or there's a person out there that's able to do that. But it's great to see that he's fine, and I'm sure anybody out there that may have had him for fantasy since week 1 or drafted him, you got laughed at, ha ha ha, but nah ha ha you, he's coming back, and we're only 4 weeks in. So, and by the way, 4 weeks in, 2-2 Atlanta Falcons at the top. I'm going to ask David Moulton at the top of the hour about that. I'm going to ask about the CBS game, Auburn and Georgia, and that ESPN game, the Raiders. Because they're going to take on... That's going to be good. It's going to be good on Monday night. I'm going to ask him about that because I want to ask him. I kind of want to ask him a question about Gary Danielson as well, because he works with him. And there was some slander about the man, which we've heard before on this show, that he really does not care. But like I said, if you want to call in later, 256-576-4977. It's Chad taking over the Thom Abraham Show right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellow Hammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget Sunday brunch with Microwave Day. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm sorry. I can't operate on that vehicle.
But doctor, you took an oath.
That RV, it's my son's RV.
Oh, doctor, isn't there anything you can
I'm not a miracle worker, Sheila. I'm an RV surgeon, trained to save the lives of large injured recreational vehicles, which is definitely a real profession.
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A historic night in Texas as Yankee superstar Aaron Judge belted his 62nd home run of the season, a new American League single-season home run record. As the regular season wraps up today, Judge still has a chance to win the AL Triple Crown. There have been only 27 Triple Crown winners in MLB history, and the last, Detroit's Miguel Cabrera, a decade ago. Yankees do go into the postseason as the number 2 seed in the American League and will take on the Guardians-Rays AL Wildcard Series winner. Much more on Judge when ESPN's Buster Olney joins Greeny next. Rays reliever Colin Poche will head to the injured list and have an MRI today on an abdominal injury, a potentially significant injury for playoff-bound Tampa. Cardinals removed closer Ryan Helsley from last night's game with a jammed right finger as a precaution. He said he expects to be available to pitch in Game 1 of the NL Wildcard Series versus the Phils on Friday.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
College football, Auburn a big underdog at number 2 Georgia this Saturday. The Tigers plus 29.5 in Athens, 50 the over-under. Number 1 Alabama hosting Texas A&M. The Crimson Tide a 24-point home favorite, 51.5 the set total. NFL Week 5, the Saints hosting the Seahawks Sunday afternoon. New Orleans trying to snap a 5-game skid. They're a 5.5-point favorite. The Falcons an 8.5-point underdog at the Bucks. The NASCAR Cup Championship, Chase Elliott, after winning at Talladega, still the favorite at plus 250. Denny Hamlin at plus 350. Kyle Larson plus 500. Joey Logano at plus 600. And Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney each at plus 700. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another beautiful day across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Dropping into the lower 50s as we head into the overnight. Essentially a repeat for your Thursday, though it is going to be just a smidge warmer. Still plenty of sunshine, though. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid-50s through the overnight. Maybe a little more cloud cover for your Friday afternoon. Still not talking about any rain. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Touchdown, Alabama! No look pass inside, but he got to go to play.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
No. His Yankee ass isn't here, but my Southern ass is here. As we're taking over the show, Chad Gwathney once again taking over the Thom Abraham show. As, of course, we do not have Thom Abraham at the moment. He had an issue with his Comrex. If you weren't listening in the first hour, as he is in South Carolina for the 2022 St. Croix Bassmaster Southern Open at Lake Hartwell, doing his Bassmaster duties as normal. Had a little firewall issue. I don't think David Moulton ever really has a firewall issue. I'm sure like anywhere David Moulton goes, they make sure that they get Ethernet ready to go. I mean it's powered, it's ready. I don't even know if three extra MiFis in the top filing cabinet might have been able to do it and help Thom out, to at least give him some kind of connectivity or something. I don't know really what all it was. That's all what I got from this morning. But yeah, Thom is away and we're taking over. And like I said at the top of the hour, we're getting David Moulton from Florida Sports Network, spotter on CBS Sports, CBS on SEC on CBS. I'm sorry, ESPN broadcast as well as for the NFL. Does a great job. I hope to be able to do what he does. I hope I can be like half the historian, fact guy. I mean, this guy works hard, and I hope I can work at least half as hard as he does. And that is David Moulton who joins the show. David, thank you so much for joining the show, and great to have you on, man. Hope all is well.
Leaving Fort Myers now, and it is if you've got $5 and you could send it to the Red Cross, that they could really use it. It's very painful to see. But you were mentioning a firewall. I'm such a technological idiot that I don't even know when I hit a firewall. All right, I just keep pressing the buttons, wondering why it doesn't work.
Yeah, right. You just keep hitting enter, and then it says error, and then you just hit retry, and it says error over and over again, right?
Right. Turn it off, turn it on a couple times. What do you mean it won't work?
Hey,
right.
I'll tell you right now, that has saved the day a couple of times up here at the radio station. Just plugging it back in, unplugging it, plugging it back in, man. And then all of a sudden, boom, it comes right back up.
It's engineering 101. It really is. Every engineer, that's the first thing they tell you. They go, hey, we're having a problem. And they go, well, turn it off and turn it on first. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I used to work in fire and security installation, so I did a lot of low voltage, but I also handled a lot of telephone lines and everything like that too. And we would go to schools, and teachers would claim that their phone wasn't working. You go up to the phone, and the bottom jack in the phone is not in, and that's all it was. It was never a my phone doesn't work. It wasn't plugged in all the way on the bottom of the phone, and you don't know how many that was half of our service calls.
Well, it makes you guys look good.
Hey, it makes us look good, and it makes us an easy job too. It calls for an easy job when you walk in, but I'm sure this is Alabama country, and I wanted to ask you. Of course, this is A&M Hate Week for a lot of Crimson Tide fans around here, and of course, for what Jimbo said about Nick Saban's comments about said Texas A&M, as Jimbo Fisher kind of said some positive things this week going into this matchup. What are your thoughts on this game and what the pregame festivities might be like for this game?
Well, it's a lot of noise. I don't know how much it's really going to influence what takes place on the field. Alabama's clearly better. If Bryce Young was healthy and playing, this wouldn't be much of a game. I do think we're all curious. Yes, the backup came in last week, made some big plays. One of the big plays was a 3rd and 18 wide receiver screen that went to the house. The other was outrunning his spy for 77 yards. And the other big plays were handing it off. I do think, I'm curious, whether it's A&M, whether it's Tennessee, I think Bryce is going to be out a couple of weeks. I think day-to-day is a smokescreen. And so to me, in either one of these next two opponents, defensively make Alabama throw the ball. And I don't mean bubble screens. I mean throw the ball. And that'll be the key. I mean, we've seen Texas gave Alabama a game. Missouri, Georgia a game. I mean, games happen when you least expect them. And if we're going to get a game in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be because one of these two opponents is going to force the backup to beat them from the pocket. And we'll see if they can do it.
So your thoughts, if you were Coach Saban, you obviously are going to sit Bryce Young, right? And you're going to play Milroe for the next 2 weeks, but you're also going to see. Did you not see an improvement along the offensive line when Seth McLaughlin was at center, and just how the running game just started getting going late in the second half, and then scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter?
Absolutely. The freshmen that they rotated in at both guard spots made a difference. And, yeah, the offensive line looks far different than it did against Texas. And, Nick's teams always improve. I mean, we all overreact. You can go back over the last 12 years. They've had first half of the season scares against quote-unquote inferior teams. I mean, remember the Blake Sims 2014 team that was really lucky to get out of Arkansas with a 14-13 win? And everybody's like, oh, my goodness, this team is terrible. Yeah, they won the SEC. I mean, these guys are good. They're 5 stars, 4 stars at worst. They got a great coaching staff. They get better virtually every week if they're healthy. And so, to me, it's kind of fun to watch all the newcomers that work their way in and how much better they are now than they were just against Texas. Never mind, what are they going to be like when they play Ole Miss in November? I mean, I think it's the fun part of the sport.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I feel like with the improvement of a lot of these offenses, and and a lot of these teams that are getting better defensively as well, like a Mississippi State could be a possible game that we need to watch out for because of how well Will Rogers is able to throw the ball, and of course it's the Pirates, so you don't know what you're going to get out of Mike Leach.
Well, the reason why I'm more interested, yes, I mean, there's no doubt, although, Mike Leach hasn't had a lot of success against Nick.
Right.
But, this was supposed to be his best Mississippi State team. He had a lot coming back. And so, it's not a surprise to most that the Mississippi schools are a handful this year. Now I think Ole Miss was better at quarterback last year than they are this year, and I'm not sure that Ole Miss has the passing game to maybe knock off an elite team. But they've got everything else where they can beat good and very good teams. And, we'll see with Mississippi State. I mean, Alabama's schedule here, especially if Bryce Young is iffy, has got a lot of salt to it. It really does. I think they'll beat A&M because I don't see how A&M is going to score more than 17 points.
Yeah.
But I could see A&M defensively. Last year, remember Orgeron? He was dead man walking at LSU.
Yeah.
Okay? They came in and gave Alabama a real game because defensively they could hang with them.
Right.
If I'm an Alabama fan, that's A&M. I really don't think they can beat, quote-unquote, us unless we really help them. But I do think defensively for 3 quarters, they really could hang around.
No, I totally agree with you. I think it's when you look at it, it was a good sign to see as many points that was scored in the Arkansas game, that Alabama's defense actually showed up throughout the game, even though there seemed to be some sputters on the offense, and being able to keep the opposing defense on the field and to keep your offense out there rolling and trying to keep your defense fresh.
Their secondary looked really good. I will say that. The Arkansas receivers, and granted, they're not considered a vaunted group.
You don't have Treylon Burks with 179 yards last year.
Right, but they could not get any separation, really, against the Alabama secondary. I will say this. Anderson did not look great. Okay?
Yeah.
He did not. He looked fine.
Right.
But he did not look like the best defensive lineman in the country, if you know what I mean. I don't know if it was one of those days.
Right.
I don't know if he's a little nicked up. But that's something to keep a watch on, I think.
Well, he did say he came to Alabama to play football and win championships pretty much, and not tweet and all that other stuff. And when you were speaking about overreacting, how'd you feel about when Coach Saban, you kind of overreacted a little bit to the reporter? But I wouldn't have asked that dumb of a question too, where it's talking about the scheme or what you're going to do for the week, and him calling up Jimbo and telling him what quarterback they're going to start.
Well, first off, it's her job, though, to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. He gets hurt.
Yeah.
He's not back in the game. I mean, if he doesn't ask about Bryce Young at halftime, I mean, come on.
Right.
All right.
We talk about the other players, David.
Well, but listen, I think Nick anticipated a question that he didn't get.
Right.
Because she actually asked him the question.
Overreacting.
That he wanted her to ask.
Right.
So, it happens. It's, sports are emotional.
Of course, heat of the moment, yeah.
Nick, it was a rough day at the office after it looked like it was going to be, 52-7. So, everybody needs a deep breath. Everybody, sideline reporters, head coaches, everybody needs to just be given a little bit more benefit of the doubt.
Well, before I get to those two games that you're going to be covering this week, I want to ask you something that came out of that game. Once Bryce came down, social media, Saturday Down South, a bunch of people started reacting to comments that Gary Danielson had made towards Bryce Young coming back, and just how apparently his accusations of him being an Alabama homer. Can you please reiterate with everybody and kind of explain that, his homerism?
Well, I find it hysterical because we used to do a show for a year called The Fifth Quarter.
Yeah.
And we were worried about death threats from the Alabama faithful. And so when I hear that he's an Alabama homer, I find that pretty funny. Here's what I have found over the years. First off, you got a lot of people that don't like Alabama. So if you as a broadcaster say something positive about Alabama, they immediately think you're a homer. Secondly, when someone is good, you end up talking about them a lot, and you end up saying mostly positive things. Like Gary was.
Yeah. Sorry you broke up there.
Tebow, Florida Gator homer.
Yeah. With Tim Tebow. Are you kidding me? Just did you not listen?
Yeah, right. I mean, we did 25 of his games, and he was winning a Heisman Trophy and 2 national championships. I mean, he was kind of a legendary college player. We're going to say a lot of good things about him. So it's the one thing I would want people to understand. He was born in Michigan. He went to Purdue. He really doesn't care who
I've heard you.
games at all. At all. And I can't convince people of that. Gary prepares the same way, whether it's UCLA and Miami in the Sun Bowl or whether it's the SEC Championship. He doesn't care who the teams are. He doesn't care who the players are. He just cares about the game. And the only thing most every broadcaster roots for is a good game at the beginning of the fourth quarter, because then in theory you've got a good audience. That's it.
No, I completely agree with you. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, that's sometimes the good thing about social media is that you can play around like that. And then it also, I understand that you and everybody that's involved don't really care, but at the end of the day, it's a good laugh for you. And you can kind of bring some of that banner on the broadcast as well, and maybe kind of throw some shade at fan bases.
Well, but no, you definitely don't throw shade at fan bases. You appreciate the fact that they're watching.
Yeah, no, I know.
You listen to what they say. Some of it has merit, some of it in which you go, you guys are all based on this. But see, I think it proves how much people care. I mean, the adage in the SEC, it just means more. It does. It's true. All right? It does mean more. You don't get this kind of grief when you do the Minnesota, Wisconsin for Paul Bunyan's act.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Oh, yeah. I love that game.
I love the game.
Yeah.
Right. I covered that game. I love it.
I would love to go to Camp Randall. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's not a regular Saturday in the SEC.
Right.
It's just not.
Right.
I mean, that's why those coaches are paid more. They're held to higher standards, except for Paul Christ at Wisconsin, and they get fired.
Yeah, what are your comments on that? Because he was what does that say about other coaches? Because I mean, that guy, all he did was win at Wisconsin.
Well, I think it's I don't know if an indictment. How about it's indicative of how quickly people can feel that a program is going awry.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it, at Auburn, I mean, last year, they're like, I know we're only 1 year into this, but I think we made the wrong hire. And I think we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And, well, what's your evidence? Well, besides the record, look at our recruiting rankings. And that's what happened, in my opinion, at Wisconsin. You know, I believe they're like 55th in recruiting right now.
Yeah.
And so it's not the 7 years that he's being judged on. It's the last 12 months in which they just think, uh-oh, this thing's going the wrong way, and we got to make a quick decision. Do we think he can turn it around, or do we need to get rid of him and start looking at plan B right now? And the other thing that we've clearly learned is there's no buyout too big anymore.
Yeah.
Between boosters and television money, they all got the money. So the only reason we should start mentioning buyouts is so we can find it entertaining, but it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, if they want to get rid of a coach, look at Nebraska. They didn't even wait 2 more weeks to save $6 million.
Yeah. They were like, out of here, get out of here. Yeah, no, yeah, of course. So speaking of said coach over at Auburn, headed to Athens, you'll be at the game, be doing the broadcast and being a part of the broadcast, and you'll be possibly is this as big as the point spread labels them as a 29.5 point underdog?
Well, I will say for the record, I'll be in Tuscaloosa for the primetime game. But listen, how's Auburn going to score? They didn't score in the last 40 minutes against LSU. This is a Georgia team that's going to be very motivated because they've had 2 subpar efforts in a row, particularly defensively. Now, I know they're missing a couple of their best defensive players, but I got to believe Auburn's going to have real problems scoring more than like 14 points. So now it comes down to, can Auburn's defense put in one of those legendary performances like they did last year against Bama, or is Georgia going to show up with their A game because Kirby's been riding them hard all week, and this is going to be 45-7? And I think we all fear the latter.
Yeah, I do apologize about that. I saw it and just thought that maybe that was more of the primetime game than the Texas A&M Alabama primetime game, because I would think that, you know, possibly which game do you think is going to be a bigger point spread? Do you think that Georgia's going to run away with it, kind of like they did early in the season, or do you think the game you're going to be at, the A&M Alabama game, is?
I think because Alabama's playing their backup quarterback that A&M will hang. Now, Alabama may jump out to a lead and then they kind of hang.
Right.
But I expect that the A&M game will be slightly more compelling. I think the best game of the day is Tennessee at LSU.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And if you can just speak on that game as well, as we've got a Tennessee homer in the studio. Well, he's not here right now, but he's going to paint the walls orange, depending on, you know, what comes out of this next week's game.
Well, they're the better team right now. I mean, even though LSU's won 4 in a row, if you look closely at the game against Auburn last week, they benefited greatly from the defensive touchdown. I don't think they had 300 yards offense. And Tennessee's going to get yards and points against everybody. So I like Tennessee. The spread's 3. I think it'll be a close game. You know, if Tennessee is truly, and I don't know if they're the 8th best team in the country, but let's just say they're one of the 15 best teams in the country. If you go on the road and you win this type of game, even if it's 24-20 or 27-20, you go, you take care of business, you win it, and then you say, I'll be damned, we're undefeated facing Alabama.
Do you think it's kind of a weird game being so early? They think that this is a better matchup for an 11 o'clock kick?
No doubt. And, you know, I think if Alabama and Georgia were not number 1 and number 2 in the country, you know, I think CBS makes a different choice. At the time that CBS made the pick for Georgia-Auburn, Georgia was number 1.
Yeah.
And I do know it's tough to turn down the number 1 team in the country. I mean, because look at it the other way. Seriously, look at it the other way.
Yeah.
Think about how Georgia fans would feel. It's like, hold on.
Not getting a get, yeah.
We're number one in the country, and you got two choices, and you won't even take us?
Well, I mean,
I know right now they're number two, but at the time that CBS was making the choice, they were number one, so you got to put yourself in their shoes.
You can say the same thing about how Alabama fans felt about the 11 o'clock kick against Texas.
Yeah. Well, and that's just simply a case of Fox's big window is noon.
Right.
And that's 11 a.m. Central. And they're like, listen, this is a huge game, and we got to have it. And then Texas is like, yeah, but that means it's 11 a.m. And Fox is like, you're cashing the checks, right? Okay. Just want to make sure.
So let me shift to the NFL and get you out of here. Well, like I said, great to have you on as always. David Moulton, Florida Sports Network, does a great job with SEC on CBS and the ESPN broadcasting for the NFL. Man, I just wanted to ask, great to see former Alabama running back Brian Robinson, who was, shot 2 times and able to return to practice, to see that as well. And then I also wanted to ask you, before we get to the game that you're going to be at, who was your big your surprise in the NFL? Thom didn't want to come today because his Browns got spanked by my Atlanta Falcons, and not spanked but lost, and just basically felt so terrible to come on today. That's pretty much the reason why. But I mean, other than that, what was your biggest surprise you'd see 4 weeks into the NFL?
Well, it's easy to find the negative surprises, the Raiders and the Saints.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I know the Eagles are a cop-out, but it's not just that they're 4-0. They're destroying people.
Yeah.
400 yards of offense in all 4 games. I mean, Jalen Hurts looking like a Pro Bowl quarterback.
He's a quarterback. Yeah, don't say that around here.
Not much. Right. Not much more than a year removed from he's a backup, and why are we playing him? I mean, the Philadelphia situation is fascinating. I can't wait, a week from Sunday, Dallas at Philly. First off, if Dallas goes to L.A. and wins with Cooper Rush, we sure we're benching him for Dak? I mean, don't you have to play him until he loses?
Yeah. No, I mean, it just seems like they're going to where they put their money to the running back, and they have a 2-headed monster with Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, and I feel like that if they can stick to limiting Cooper Rush, why not keep rolling the hot hand?
Well, and this kind of reminds you of how Dak got the job.
Yeah.
Romo gets hurt. Dak comes in, and what do? They rely on Zeke. They ran first, passed second. Then for the next 5 years, they throw the ball first, run second. Now with an injured quarterback, guess what they do? They go back to running the ball.
Right.
Imagine that.
It seems like
makes your defense better, makes your line better, makes your quarterback better, makes you a better team.
It just seems
concept.
Yeah, it just seems like in a world where in college and in the NFL and especially in high school, you want to throw the ball so much, but when you can effectively run the ball, or just running the ball, or just like Nick Saban said, run the ball, is a way to get your offense going and can open up other windows.
Well, you said you're a Falcons fan.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, they have no business beating the Browns. But guess what they did? Over 200 yards rushing, ran it right down their throat.
With a scout team running back who had 80 something yards.
And I don't think Mariota completed 10 passes.
9.
And they won.
9 of 17 for 149 or something like that.
Yeah. And, Matt, really good things happen when you can run the football. I mean, this game has changed a lot. But if you can still run the football, it's exactly the same.
So you're going to be heading out to Kansas City, I bet, on Monday, right?
Yep.
And
the Raiders against Mahomes.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts about that, as these two offenses love to throw the ball, even though they have two? I feel like both sides have two really good starting running backs, and then also the Raiders have Zamir White, who I think was a great college running back.
Well, the Raiders have played the Chiefs very tough the last few years. They even won an Arrowhead once.
I feel like that division always play each other so much. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah. But we were just talking about running the ball. What's the biggest difference with the Chiefs this year? Andy Reid, who's a Hall of Fame coach, but he has never made a commitment to running the football, is doing what?
Running the football.
Running the football. and it's really working. And he has to, because without Tyreek Hill, they're not as dynamic.
Yeah.
So they just need to set up their passing game a little bit more than they had to in the past, and it's working really well. I mean, that was a very good defense that they shredded on Sunday, and it started by running it right at the big fella Vita Vea, and once you break a defense down, they're scrambling the rest of the day.
So when you're looking at these two teams, is this kind of what you expected 4 weeks in? Is this kind of where you saw the Raiders being and where you saw the Chiefs kind of being?
No, the Raiders are worse in the stand. I thought the Raiders were a playoff team.
Yeah.
And I thought the Chiefs would struggle. I thought the Chiefs would make the playoffs, but I picked them as a wild card, and I thought they would really struggle to adjust to no Tyreek Hill because I didn't think Andy would commit to running the ball. So, no, the Raiders lose. They're 1-4. Tough to make the playoffs at 1-4.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue it's a must-win, and that's a tough place to be at Kansas City, needing a must-win.
We'll ask you one more before I get you out of here. We're a Titans fan base around here as well. The Titans were able to get a win over the Colts, and it just seems like the Colts are having issues. Jonathan Taylor might be having an ankle injury, but this is the same Colts team that came out and beat the Chiefs. I mean, what's going on with the Jaguars? Up on top, and just playing. They almost beat the Eagles last week. I thought they were going to beat the Eagles last weekend. What are your thoughts on the South?
Here's what we know: the Jaguars' defense is legit.
Oh yeah.
The Colts have no team speed and no weapons, and there's no team physically or mentally tougher in that division than the Tennessee Titans. It's the Titans division until somebody takes it from them. And I have been a Titans bandwagon guy for 5 years. So
I'm a big
talking to the right guy.
I'm to be honest with you, growing up, David, I was a big Alabama fan, baseball guy, never really liked NFL. And I pulled for some of the greatest, just watching some of the greatest, Titans teams and some of the greatest. I was just, just because of an Alabama fan, I love Sean Alexander and the Seattle Seahawks. But I just absolutely loved being so close and loving watching Steve McNair and Eddie George and Javon Curse and being able to watch some of these Tennessee Titan teams that I just absolutely appreciated because I just loved, players and just the NFL as a whole.
Now, listen, they're not as good as last year's team. They're probably going to win the division, but they're going to be like a 10-7 4 seed. Maybe they win a playoff game, maybe they don't. I think we're going to look back a handful of years from now and realize that their moment was last year, and unfortunately, Tannehill blew it. And I like Tannehill.
Yeah.
I have defended Tannehill for a long time, but he threw in a clunker in a playoff game. And it could have been them making that run instead of the Bengals if he had played a normal game. I have a feeling Tennessee's going to, win again, go to the playoffs, but their opportunity to go to and win a Super Bowl with this group, I think, was last year.
Yeah, totally agree with you, man. Well, thank you so much, David. Thank you so much for being on with us, and sorry about Thom not being here. But kind of just did this last minute, and glad to get you on, and glad to talk with you, and glad everything was safe, and I hope all is well, and keep pushing on with you and your family, man. I appreciate it. Be safe on your way to your games.
Well, thank you very much, and hey, baseball playoffs, baby. Tom's Yankees, your guys Braves.
Oof.
I mean, we got good stuff going on.
I wasn't going to ask you because I know you're a Mets fan, but I mean, it's good to see you.
Here's the deal, okay? You line up your three best pitchers, you only need to win one game, and you can't win it, then you don't deserve it. It's as simple as that. The Braves are better.
Totally agree, brother.
What was it that Pedro said 20 years ago? You just have to call the Yankees my daddy. Well, the Mets just need to say the Braves are our daddy.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for getting on with us, man. Have a good one, man. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
You too. Thank you so much again. That was David Moulton. They did a great job kind of breaking down all the great matchups we got going around the state of Alabama. And as you know, of course, we got Texas A&M rolling into Tuscaloosa, and then Auburn's headed to Athens to take on Georgia. And then just give us a little breakdown of Tennessee LSU, as of course, I'm sure Smokey Mike Honcho is riding that high right now as Tennessee could go, could be undefeated by the time they play Alabama, and it would be nice to see, and it would be nice to see this matchup, getting some glory and not so much, some dismal performance, especially by the Vols, and I'm sure Alabama fans want to just tack on one more to the streak. So, and then of course he just broke down some of the best around the NFL as well. So. Thank you so much for listening to this part. We're going to get into the next when we come back from a break. We're going to listen to Tom's conversation with John Samuel Shanker, the Auburn Tigers captain tight end. He's recapped their loss to the LSU Tigers, kind of broke down, what's going on and kind of preparing as they get ready for Georgia as well. And if we can squeeze it in, I'll try to throw in Justin Ferguson's conversation as well. I know I took a Thom break. But anytime that I can get a great guest on like that and to be able to give us time because he's traveling. So anytime I can get him to kill time and get on with us and give us some great content, I'm going to be able to do it. So thank you so much again, and we'll be right back. This is Chad Gwathney taking over the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again proud to be a sponsor of All Things Football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood
of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another beautiful day across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Dropping into the lower 50s as we head into the overnight. Essentially a repeat for your Thursday, though it is going to be just a smidge warmer. Still plenty of sunshine, though. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid-50s through the overnight. Maybe a little more cloud cover for your Friday afternoon. Still not talking about any rain. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to Randolph Raider football all season long.
Does he cross the line? He does! Touchdown, Randolph!
Nice drive. Really well done.
On 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This is the Thom Abraham Show with the Auburn Tigers captain, tight end John Samuel Schenker.
Wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, John Samuel Schenker. Touchdown, Auburn.
Presented by Valley Equipment Rental.
Yes, it's why they call it God's country. I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs.
Yeah, welcome back. This segment of the show brought to you by Valley Equipment Rental. With their 2 locations, Valley Equipment Rental is there for you to make sure that you get everything that you need to get your job done like a pro. It's Valley Equipment Rental. And we thank Ross Roberts and his crew for making it possible for us to have John Samuel Schenker join us each and every Monday. Even if it's a tough Monday like this one might be a little bit tough Monday for John Samuel and the crew, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. John Samuel, welcome back. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. This is one of those moments that, what did they say, try men's souls, right? I mean, you hear a game like this where you feel like you have this thing in hand at 17-0 and it gets away from you, and I imagine it makes for a tough Saturday night and Sunday, and you can't wait to get back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, the way we played, we really controlled the game from what we see and how we played, and for that to get away from us really hurt, especially against LSU, a big game for us each and every year. And now we're just flipping the page, just on to Georgia, just learn from those mistakes and don't allow those to happen again.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of mistakes early on, and Robbie Ashford, as he's settling in a little bit here, he's really starting to look like he could be the guy. He threw for 239 yards in the first half alone, ended up with over 330 yards passing in the game. Are you sensing that he was getting into a rhythm and huddle and everything else? Does it feel like he's got a command of this football team?
Yeah, he's starting to settle in. You know, he's a young guy. This is some of his first playing time of his college career, so sometimes it takes guys a little while just to get going and feel the game, feel the tempo of how fast the game is played. And yeah, I thought he had a great game early on, just way prepared throughout the week, and we knew we had to throw the ball to win the game. And he accepted that challenge, and he did really well. We just got to finish the football game.
They threw it at you, I think 6 times. The 3 that were near you, you caught. I mean, it wasn't like you had any drops or anything out there. I really like that little seam route. I thought it was there multiple times. I like that little seam that you took and went about 27 yards on, up the middle. That was a good-looking play, and it opened up right over the middle. Was that part of the game plan?
Yeah, we've had that plan for a while now. It's just a little option route off that linebacker that you fill the open space and get to it. So we've repped that a lot throughout the weeks prior. So yeah, that's always a fun play for the tight end because it just isolates you one-on-one with a guy, and you're there to win your one-on-one.
You got a pretty talented tight end room, don't you? I mean, you got other guys who can catch the ball too. I mean, that's a good little. The 3 tight ends you guys rotate through, or the 2 besides yourself. You got some pretty good talent there at tight end.
Yeah, we're proud of that. We think that any point in the game, it could be a 3 tight end set. We could go all the way down the field. That's just the faith we have in our tight ends, and we have a lot of fun in that room. We've played together for a while now, so we just enjoy the game, and we play it hard and compete together.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Now, you talk about the practicing of the different looks that you do in terms of the tight end plays that were in the game plan. Talk to me about these gimmick plays and how much you work those in practice as well, because I personally, and I'm not the only one, was a little bit surprised. You guys get 1st and goal from the 5, trailing by 21-17, and we see some gimmick plays come out of the deal. How much time and how successful are those things in practice when you're working those?
Yeah, we work those every day. So most of the time, gimmick plays are game plan. So every team normally has a few gimmick plays each week that they could throw out there in a game, just depending on the looks they get throughout the game. But yeah, we practice that every day. We should have thrown it away, but that was one of the issues that we had on that game was Coy just trying to make something that wasn't really there. But we've learned from that now, and but yeah, that was one. He's a quarterback, so that was why he had the ball. Yeah,
need to eat that or throw it away or do something else. But it looked like he was trying to dump it off to you. Your turn. You look like you're blocking. You're like, okay, I'm out here. I'm blocking. If he wants to, if he's going to run it, I'm going to block for him. It looked like he was trying to dump it off for you. Were you the intended guy on that, or was he looking to get it into the end zone somewhere?
No, yeah, I was not. He was looking. There was a guy in the end zone. I was just there blocking. And then, yeah, I don't know how he ended up going to that guy, but no, I was blocking for him down the field.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like, and then I'm like, where is he? Why is he throwing it to John Samuel? He's blocking. John Samuel Schenker here with us talking about Auburn's game against LSU and coming up now against Georgia. Are you sensing? Look, the team's struggling in the second half. All right, you guys are out. You're out in front. You come out like gangbusters every game. You're out in front, scoring a couple of touchdowns right off the bat. Are you sensing teams adjusting? Did you feel like LSU was doing anything defensively to shut you guys down in the second half? Did you feel anything different that they had made adjustments?
No, I thought a big momentum flip for us was that fumble for a touchdown that LSU got late in the first half. Because that gave them momentum, and then they score out for a half again, and they get the ball in the second half. So I thought really the momentum shifted for some of the guys on the team when that happened. Just deflated a little bit. But yeah, that's the second half. That's our. I didn't think LSU did anything special. We moved the ball. We continued to move the ball. We just didn't execute in the red zone. And that ended up being the key of the game.
Yeah, momentum thing's a real thing, isn't it? I mean, because people, Alabama was out 28-0, and Arkansas came storming back with special team plays and different things, and that ball can get rolling against you in a hurry. I would think that the veterans on the team like yourself doing everything in your power to try and get the young guys to realize that that's only worth one play or however many plays it was. It shouldn't affect them for multiple plays.
Yeah, you got to have a short-term memory. I mean, we were still up 10 points at that point, and we're getting the ball back. So, yeah, you can't let stuff like that phase you. It happened. Yes, you don't want that to happen, but it did. So you got to move on to the next play. And that's the thing about football, you get another play most of the time. So just learn how to move on from that. Just feel the momentum of the offense and keep pushing that way.
John Samuel Schenker with us here. So now you move on to Georgia, at Georgia. Obviously, they're going to be a big favorite in this football game, but they've struggled themselves the last 2 weeks. You know, it would seem like they could be a little bit vulnerable if you guys can get in there and maintain a 60-minute game. I mean, this is a great opportunity to kind of turn the complete nomenclature around about this season.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity. Anytime, first road game as well, getting to go to Athens and play a great football team. But yeah, you know, I thought Missouri was pretty good. I'm glad that now we're seeing them playing teams close. So just for our guys knowing that, you know, even in SEC, like, it's so hard in this conference. Every week is different. You can go out and play a team, and the next week they can play just a totally different way. So it's just about going out there, competing, playing for a whole 60 minutes, executing the game plan. That's what it's going to come down to.
How's the mindset of your coach? I mean, obviously you guys hear all the noise and all the rumblings and everything else. It's just got to be hard on him right now. Is he seeming to stay consistent in his message? Yeah, no, he is staying consistent. Just highly motivated guy that's motivating his team to play as the best that we possibly can, especially on the offensive side for us. So, no, he has not skipped a beat, and that's who he is. That's Coach Harsin. We still got a football season to play, so that's what we're looking forward to. And we have Georgia this week. Yeah, go down there and take down the Dogs and change the narrative, you know, on the entire season. All right, John Samuel, I appreciate you. I know it's tough after a loss like that, but I appreciate you for being a stand-up guy. And keep up the good work. All you can do is all you can do. Yes, sir. Thank you. See you next week. All right, man. Thank you.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including college football and the NFL. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com and use the promo code WZZN. That's BetUS.com and the promo code WZZN.
Kerry Rosenblum here with Rosenblum Realty, and we appreciate our MA family. Football season is back again, and we're here for your real estate needs. We've been also doing rental properties for many years. You may have a home that you need to lease out. You don't need the headaches. You need somebody to take care of it, make sure the repairs are done, keep the rent coming in, and screen the tenants. We can do all that for you at Rosenblum Realty, where we do property management services, or you can find a good home to rent as well. Call us at 256-539-9501. Put our years of experience to work for you.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Flow Trampoline Park is your one-stop fun spot for your next birthday party. Whether you're a boy, girl, kid, or adult, Flow has you covered. Party packages allow up to 25 plus guests, so you'll be able to bring all of your friends. And with all the fun competition to be had at Flow, maybe enemies too. Party packages will give you access to 60 minutes of jump time, grip socks for all guests, a private party room, and a party coordinator. Flow is behind South Parkway and Drake, behind Cracker Barrel. For more information, go to flowhuntsville.com. Get jumping with Flow.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of the Stanton Law Firm. Stan, I guess you are the Stanton in the law firm.
Yes, Wes, that's me, and we started the Stanton Law Firm so that myself and 4 other attorneys with me can help clients litigate, negotiate, and creatively solve legal and real estate problems.
Now, Stan, you grew up on a family farm in this area and have made a name closing on houses and land with your closing company, Jacob Title.
I grew up on a farm which used to be in the country. That, plus having closed on so many homes and farms, one of my colleagues started referring to me as a classic dirt lawyer. Now, I didn't know how to take that at first, that tag, but I realized that's exactly what I do and what I am.
Stan, I know the attorneys at Stanton Law Firm are regular listeners, and we plan to have you on periodically. You and I have seen have impacted this community.
Stay tuned, and you may hear about friends like Steve Booker, Clarence Johnson, Thomas Boyd, and even a few of those offensive line hogs like Hoss Johnson, and maybe you remember some other of those guys too.
I remember Clarence Johnson. He beat us one year. He was unbelievable.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. Chad Gwathney taking over once again as Thom Abraham is in South Carolina for the Bassmaster event. St. Croix Southern Open. Should be a lot of fun. Be over there till the 8th, I believe. I think that's when the tournament said it was going to end, from the 6th to the 8th. So he's going to be having a good time. He was nice and packed. All he brought was his jersey. That's it. That's all. I mean, his wife had like tons of stuff she needed, because it's Junkyard Babe. I mean, she's got to make sure she's looking, fantabulous, because she's just an amazing woman. And this guy over here just wearing T-shirts. You know what I mean? Just guys. Guys just wear T-shirts, or jerseys, like I'm wearing right now. The Atlanta Braves. Yes. Once again, the Atlanta Braves, they're today. 4:10 Eastern Time, 3:10 Central. Don't know if we're going to have it. I think the boss man doesn't like it cutting into his time, so I don't think we're going to be having that. But you will have the drive from 5 to 7 tonight. Wes and Steve breaking it down. Then, of course, once again, you'll have Crawdad's countdown to kickoff right after on the Zone. So make sure you tune into that as well. And thank you so much once again for listening to me, jibber jabber on the Thom Abraham Show. And make sure you follow us everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's, Twitch, all the places. And keep up with anything that you want on this show. Recap any of the shows that you missed throughout the day. Talking Ball, Thom Abraham Show. The Recruiting Blitz is later today too. Recruiting Blitz was earlier today too, so you can recap that as well. That's on our SoundCloud page. And you got the Afternoon Blitz coming up on 2 to 4. So hit up that too as well. Smokey Mike Honcho, Bailey the Bandy Man, and Captain Cool, John Abraham. Should be a lot of fun. But I'm out. I'm out of here. It says 10 seconds. So I'll see you later. We're taking over tomorrow. John, Bailey, and I. and then Smokey Mike Honcho on Friday. See you. I'm out of here. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Atlanta Braves are National League East champions.
In the air to right field, Ronald Acuna back. Ronald is under it. The Braves have won it again. For the 5th year in a row, the Braves are champions of the National League East.
For the 5th straight season, the Braves are kings of the East, and we're ready to bring you every single moment of the NLDS and the entire 2022 Braves playoff run, all live on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all